Thank you, Chair. These were the resolutions the committee gave to the two governors upon their meeting to discuss on Nzoia Water and Sewerage Company. The main issue that were directed by the committee is the governors of Bungoma and Nzoia counties to engage and amicably resolve the matter of ownership of the water company. Further, the counties were to submit recommendations on the task force to the committee, which the county has done, and that can be discussed. At that time, the committee also directed the two counties to offer full support to the water company for continuous supply of water to their respective residents as the declustering process continues. Chair, in the process of declustering, the counties also were directed to ensure they consult WASREP on the best practices in terms of the declustering. After that, if and when that ownership issue is resolved, the committee again was to have meetings with the two governors together after the declustering process. Thank you.
Very well. Those were the issues that we had directed. So at this point, I will request Governor to make your presentation on that matter. I know we have two reports, so you can guide us, this one and this one. You can guide us as you go on.
Chairman will use this small one.
Yeah.
The other one is a task force report that informed what we've done so far. So if you allow me, Mr. Chairman, I'll just read.
Yeah, proceed.
It's an executive summary on the Nzoia declustering status. The Constitution of Kenya, 2010, under Article 43(1)(d), provides for the right to access clean and adequate water in adequate quantities. Schedule 4, Part 2, 11B of the said Constitution outlines the distribution of functions between the national and county governments. Provision of water and sanitation services is a devolved function, with policy and regulatory functions retained by the national government. Nzoia Water Service Company, that's Nzoia, was formed under the Companies Act Cap 486 in 2004 and is owned by Bungoma and Nzoia counties. The company provides water and sewerage services within the two counties. For over 5 years, the company was placed under a special regulatory regime by WASREP. Though under SRR, the water service provider operated with a number of governance, management, operational and logistical challenges which have threatened the core objective of the water service provider. It is from the foregoing that the County Assembly of Nzoia requested for the separation of management of water service provision between the two counties of Nzoia and Bungoma by a forwarded approval letter to the County Assembly dated 15th October 2020. The County Executive Committee, through a letter dated 1st October 2020, approved the establishment of Nzoia Water Service Provider, leading to incorporation of Nzoia Water and Sewerage Company, that's Nzoia. The Nzoia Board of Directors on 29th January 2021 resolved that key stakeholder that is counties, Lake Victoria North Waterworks Development Agency, WASREP nominate members from each to form a task force that assessed the commercial viability of retaining Nzoia or to decluster and have each county establish and run their water services. Consequently, the two county governments of Nzoia, Bungoma and Nzoia, jointly gazetted a task force by Gazette Notice number 2788, dated 3rd March 2023. The task force on declustering carried out the exercise from April 2023 to December 2023 and came up with the recommendations of declustering of the Nzoia. Approval of task force report by relevant stakeholders. The report was forwarded to WASREB in December 2023 and was approved on 9th of April 2024 with the way forward towards a declustering proposal. The task force report was presented to the Nzoia Board of Directors on 9th April 2024 and was adopted during a special general meeting held on 23rd May 2024 at Zero Resort in Nzoia County. The current status. The county governments of Bungoma and Nzoia jointly appointed the Transition Committee to implement the recommendations of the Nzoia Declustering Task Force Report 2023 to oversee the transition. The following have been achieved. Assessment of water supplies and its operations, sharing and transfer of head of staff and human resource files, verification of staff placement as per recommendation of the task force, secured staff working conditions, verification and sharing of assets based at the headquarters in Webuye, verification and sharing of motor vehicles, and verification of debtors and creditors. Nzoia commenced its operation 1st July 2024, Mr. Chairman, in line with WASREB's recommendations and roadmap as per minutes, and the water service provision license applications under review. The company operates 2 water treatment plants, that's carbonate, with a design capacity of 10,500 meter cube per day, and Nzoia River with a design capacity of 10,000 meter cube per day. The county government, through the Department of Water, Environment, Natural Resources and Climate Change, has supported the company by gazettement and induction of the board of directors, secondment of key staff to assist in operations of the company, payment of high and low lift pumps for Nzoia water treatment plant, which is awaiting installation, and allocating 29,949,561 Kenya shillings for support to operations of the financial year 2024. We have teething challenges being a new water service provider. The company has operational challenges emanating from Nzoia. These are inherited challenges. They include non-remittance of statutory deductions and pension contributions, payment for goods procured and services rendered, levies owed to Lake Victoria North Water Works Development Agency, Water Resources Authority, WASREB, and KFS. Customer deposits, non-paid water infrastructure development loans, old infrastructure and high operational costs, and all office buildings roofed with asbestos. We make the following recommendations. Now, based on the findings above, the following is recommended. Levies owed to state agencies, we recommended that they be waived. Loans, stock liabilities accruing from the infrastructure development be taken over by the national government. Interest rates on pension remittances to LAP trust and LAP funds be waived and allow for the principal amount to be paid. Augmentation of existing dilapidated water supply and sewerage infrastructure. And lastly, we propose funding of new wastewater plant. I submit, Mr. Chairman.
Very well. Thank you for the presentation. Maybe you can just, honorable members, we have the task force report, which is before you. copies, so I'll pass it around. I'll pass a copy around, just in case you have an issue to raise on the same. But I can see the report is signed by all the members of the task force. So we'll look at it in detail when we are doing our report writing. But at this point, if you have any issue that you can quickly bring on the task force report, you are free to do so. Meanwhile, I would like to have some comments on the status report presented by the governor here. Maybe I will start by myself on the issue of registration of Transwasco. Governor, you did not state the registration status of this company, the CR12, who are now the directors of this company. Yeah, so that we can know that the process of registration is complete. So maybe Senator Kisang, you can bring another issue?
Yes, Chair, I have an issue. I also wanted to find out from the governor on the recommendation of levies or to state agencies to be waived. I don't know if they've initiated the process of writing to if it is KRA or others, and also, Chair, waiving of interest on pension, especially to Love Fund and Love Trust. I don't know if the county have started any communication with the state agencies to request for waivers on this particular interest and commit to start payment of the principal, especially for the pension, because we know our colleagues Kenyans who worked for these entities, and some have retired already and they cannot access pension because the deductions were not remitted.
The other question, Senator Alan Chesang.
I think, Chair, maybe there's an observation on, according to the reports that I have here, on the expenditure of expenditure on tax force allowances. There's it has been captured here as a regular expenditure on tax force involving expense of around 3.290. As noted, it was not explained, leading to the auditor's observation. Maybe the governor can explain to us why there is an irregular expenditure here. No, that's false.
Maybe you can direct us, Mheshimiwa, on which page of the task force report.
What's your report? Auditor General Task Force.
Okay, maybe as the senator is trying to check the page, Governor, you can respond to my query and Senator Kisang's query in the meantime.
Mr. Chairman, the process of registration is underway. We've initiated the process of changing the name so that we have our own name, which we've already identified and gazetted as Transwasco. We do not know if Bungoma is going to retain the name Nzoia, but for us, we've already the name Transwasco. Number two, the shares of the new company are actually 5,000 shares. The county government owns 4,997. The remaining 3 shares are actually held by the CS, 1 share, the CEC for water, 1 share, and the CEC for finance, 1 share. On the waiving of interest, we've started preliminary discussions with the with Lab Trust and Lab Fund. The challenge is always the interest, because interest comes with penalties, and the figures are very, very high. But as a county, once we are given the go-ahead to pay the principal, we are willing and ready to pay the principal. Paying the interest on this is like an impossible undertaking.
Senator Kisang, are you okay with the response?
Yes, you know, I think the interest, the issue is the law, so I don't know. I remember we were also doing an inquiry on this, so maybe in the near future, Chair, maybe it will be good for you. I remember Treasury is also working on something. So Treasury is working on a task force to reconcile and harmonize all these issues on how to, maybe that is the time when the task force has been cassetted, the Council of Governors can be invited in to now lobby for maybe not really waiving all of it, maybe agree on a percentage, especially for those who are willing. So, Chair, I'm okay with the response. But the governor needs to know there are people who are waiting for the pension and they are struggling. Some have even died because of this. So it is good that, you start doing something.
Mr. Chairman, we are now doing the monthly remittances. We don't want to engage in the old bad practices where you deduct monies from people's salaries and you don't remit. Actually, that has been the cause of all these problems over the years. But we want to be as current as possible with the monthly remittances.
Yeah, you see the issue of the unremitted pension. This committee has dealt with it. We did a report. It is now before Treasury for implementation. So I think counties, you will have to sit down once the task force is in place to agree on how to deal with the issue of interest and penalties, because the interest of the pensioners must be taken into account. Money was deducted from them, that is principal amount, and the money has not been given to them for a long time. So interest cannot just be waived. So I think that's a discussion, we leave it to the proposed task force. Mark, you wanted to comment on that?
Yes, Chair. Mine was just a question on the issue of the financial statements in line with the Public Audit Act and the PFM. Is the company now making financial statements for 23-24, or are they still jointly with the other company? Thank you, Chair.
I think he stated that the company has not been officially registered. They're in the process of registration. They have, is that the case?
I want to make a little clarification.
Yes.
The company actually is well registered. What we have filed is for change of directors.
Okay.
And the CR 12 is going to be updated maybe in the course of this week or next week. Now, Transwasco began operations in July. And I'm sure they'll start filing those statements. Yeah, we are fairly very new company. So they'll be doing it as per as WASCO, not as NOASCO.
So what I think what the auditor is saying is that you have now become an entity.
Yes.
You need to prepare your financial statements, which shall be subjected for audit by the Office of the Auditor General. Yeah. Senator Chisang, I come back to you on.
Yeah, Chair. I think I was looking at the auditor's report, and I was making my my comment in regards to the report that I have ahead of me. So I think once we are done with the Nzoia
Yes.
issue, then we'll move to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you are already on the municipality? Yeah. Okay. We started with this. So I think we'll come back to that when we do municipalities. So I think what I can say at this point is that, yes, I think the two counties, you have made a giant step of disclustering and coming up with a task force report. Now it is upon the Auditor General to follow up on your financial statements and to give us audited reports for our consideration. Most likely when, Mark? Is it 2024, 2025 financial years or when?
I think we did an auditing in October.
23, 24?
Yes, Chair.
Yeah. Yeah, it should be 24, 25, because the operations began on the 1st of July. Okay, so I think this auditor, you will have a chance also to verify this in your report, which you say was the matter of Kitale municipality for the 3 financial years, 2020, 2021, 2021, 2022, 2022, 2023. There are actually 3 financial years. At this point, I will request the auditor to make a presentation on those 3 audited reports, starting with the year ended June 2021. The year ended June 2021, then June 2022, and then finally June 2023. In your report, give us a summary of the report and then proceed to tell us the status of each query, whether the query has been addressed or not addressed, and then I shall give direction. On the same.
Thank you, Chair. Just to note the audit opinions for the 3 years that 2020, 2021 was a qualified opinion. Then the 2021, 2022, an adverse opinion, as well as 2022.
Just handle one report at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my colleague here will go through the summary as you have requested, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. We start with the financial statements for 2020-2021 financial year. The financial statements were given a qualified opinion. The first paragraph 1.1 was unsupported work in progress. The issue is outstanding. 1.2 is inaccuracies in the property, plant and equipment schedule. and the issue is addressed. Paragraph 2, undisclosed bank accounts. The issue is addressed. Paragraph number 3, incorrect recognition of development grants. The issue is addressed. And then other matter, we have budgetary control and performance. The issue is addressed. Report on lawfulness and effectiveness in use of public resources. The first issue is non-compliance with the Public Sector Accounting Standards Board requirements in the presentation of the financial statements. The issue is addressed. The second paragraph is on late submission of financial statements. The issue is addressed. Number 3 is on long outstanding sundry debtors. This with the interest. The issue is addressed.
Let me take you back, Auditor.
Yes.
The matter of late submission of financial statement, how was it addressed? You know it's an issue of compliance.
Now, in the following subsequent financial years, they have submitted on time. So we are saying.
No, but you see now we are talking about the year in question.
And then if we are specific the year in question, it's not addressed because they did not submit on time. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, proceed. The next one, long outstanding sundry debtors.
It's saying it is addressed. The whole amount has been recovered with the interest. Paragraph number 4 is compliance with their own staff diversity. The issue is addressed. I think those were the issues under
Auditor, non-compliance with the law on staff ethnic diversity is another compliance issue. So, for that particular year, it's not possible that auditor said there is non-compliance, and then you say it's addressed.
Chair, what we were looking at was it was on the board specifically, not the members, board members. So what they have explained is that composition of the members, we are talking about they should be 30% at least. So given the breakdown which has been given now and clarified to us, that there are 2 members who are official members by virtue of their office being CEC and the chief officer. So now the remaining 7, if you calculate the percentages, they make that.
Okay, so you say subsequently the matter has been addressed in the preceding years, but for this particular year, this is a compliance query. So for that particular year, it was not addressed.
Guided.
Yeah.
Chairman, if I can add something.
Yes.
I think the information that was availed to the auditors at the time of audit may not have been correct, because of neither added nor reduced staff. And even as it were, if we just include even the members of staff, the dominant community just have about 67%. So still will be compliant at about 33%. If we remove the members of staff, it comes to 57%, which is even better.
Okay. Senator,
and the names and the ethnicities are there.
Okay.
That's the last page in this. 2021, the last page.
Okay.
The info is there.
So the next query, please. We are just doing an overview to see the status of the queries before I give directions. Yeah. The next query, please.
Thank you, Chair. We move to the financial year 2021-2022, where the report was an adverse opinion. Now, the first paragraph is in failure to provide ledgers. The issue is not addressed. The second issue is inaccuracies in financial statements. The issue is addressed. Under other matter, we have budgetary control and performance. The issue is not addressed. Unresolved prior audit matters. This one is partially addressed. A report on lawfulness and effectiveness in use of public resources. The first paragraph is on incomplete multi-story business complex. The issue is not addressed. Number 2 is irregularities in upgrading of Barabara Mpya Mitume Road. The issue is partially addressed. And then number 3 is irregular expenditure on task force. The issue is not addressed. And that's then for the 2022-23 financial year.
That's all for 2020 year ended.
For 2022-2023 financial year, the report was an adverse opinion. And unconfirmed and unexplained balances. The issue is addressed. Of the statement of comparison of budget and actual amounts. The issue is addressed. Paragraph 4 is cash and cash equivalents, variances of cash book balances with the amounts reflected. Paragraph 5, plant, property and equipment. The issue is partially addressed. Trade and other payables, that's paragraph 6. The issue is partially addressed. Paragraph 7 on unsupported inventories. The issue is partially addressed. Under other matter, we have unresolved prior matters. Okay, there was no, we did not raise a paragraph on that one. Sorry for that. Then I come to report on lawfulness and effectiveness in use of public resources. The first paragraph is on irregular expenditure on public fora. The issue is addressed. Paragraph 2 is on irregular board expenses. The issue is addressed. Paragraph 3 is irregular expenditure on task force. The issue is not addressed. Paragraph 4 is on long outstanding interest. The issue is addressed. Paragraph 5, lack of an updated assets register and annual fiscal verification of assets. The issue is not addressed. Paragraph 6, proposed construction of multi-story business complex. The issue is not addressed. Paragraph 7, on unimplemented CIDP, ADP, and approved budget projects. The issue is addressed. Report on effectiveness of internal control, risk management and governance. Paragraph 1 is a lack of fraud management and risk policy. The issue is addressed. Paragraph 2, control over functions. The issue is not addressed. Thank you, Chair.
So, honorable members, I want you to pay keen interest. Queries that auditor says are addressed. If we go to the year ended June 2021, the first query on unsupported work in progress. Auditor says it's not addressed. Auditor, is this query recurring in the subsequent reports?
Yes, Chair, it recurs in 2022, 2021, 2022, and 2023, 2023. Although it's the description may be different, but it's all over the same matter. Thank you, Chair.
Which particular query?
In 2021, it's paragraph 1. When you go to 2022, it is paragraph 1 under the lawfulness and effectiveness, because it's dealing with the business complex actually. So,
well, it's the matter of the business complex, eh?
Yes, it's only on the matter of business complex.
But it's also appearing as a separate query in the same report. Okay, so I think we'll consider that for the purpose of this meeting, we will consider this as our query number 1. The unsupported work in progress. The matter of inaccuracies in plant, property, and equipment schedule, auditor, you indicated that it's addressed. So what has been addressed here? How was it addressed?
The prior adjustments were correctly made in the financial year 2021-2022. Correct the errors which were there.
So you are saying these were errors which were amended in the subsequent financial statements?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay. Undisclosed bank account, how was it addressed?
The undisclosed bank account was opened in July 2021, and therefore, for the previous financial year, that's ending 30th June, so it had no balances, so it would not affect those balances. Yeah.
Okay, I'm being advised by the clerk that we look at this as query number 2. Incorrect recognition of development grants, how was it addressed?
Chair, the prior adjustments were correctly made in the financial year 2021-2022 financial statements. They have been confirmed to be okay.
You know, Auditor, we are referring, the report before us is for the year ended June 2021. So you are on record that the amendments were made in the 2021-2022 financial statements. Is that the position?
Yeah, what they have done is redone the financial statements for 2021-2022, which are now corrected, and then they are captured in the subsequent financial years.
Okay, maybe at this point, I know Senator Raj will ask this question. I leave it to her. Budget control and performance, how was it addressed? This was a matter of under expenditure. So how was it addressed?
Chair, the statement of a conversion of actual and of budget and actual amounts was amended because it had some errors. So the correct balances are reflected in the amended the one which is now the workings for that amendment. So that's the way they were addressed. Yeah.
Again, because you know we are talking about under expenditure of 92%. Okay, Senator Miraj, I'll come to you. The matter of non-compliance with the public sector presentation of financial statement, how was it addressed?
Chair, it was addressed in the subsequent financial year when the statements were prepared as a subsequent financial year. They now the correct format.
But the current one?
The current one, the assigned one has not been amended. It cannot be amended. What they do is they're working for subsequent adoption in the subsequent financial statements.
So it was treated as a prior year adjustment.
Chair, there is a prior adjustment which we raised as a query and it was not explained in that subsequent financial year. So they had done the adjustment, but it was not explained by way of a note.
Okay, the matter of late submission of financial statement, this matter is a compliance issue because if you don't submit the financial statement on time, it is against the section 47 of the Public Audit Act. So I think we have been told by the auditor that subsequently financial statements are being submitted in time, but we are going to give a cautionary recommendation because in the future this becomes a violation of the law.
Chairman, I don't understand what the auditor is saying, because all these issues about how they were addressed, he is just repeating himself. Is there a reference where we can refer? You can explain to us exactly how these issues were addressed, right? Because the next is going to repeat the same thing, that it was updated and that it was addressed. You know, it's not making sense to me. Or give us a referral where or how these issues were addressed.
But you see, auditor, you know you need to give very valid on how the matters were addressed, because it's going on record, and you know we are relying on the auditors because you have indicated it's addressed, but members are still questioning how it was addressed. How a matter of under expenditure of 92% was addressed. Was there a supplementary budget presented, or how was it addressed? You know, you need to be very specific.
Yeah, I think then we need to go to the particular query. We read the whole query the way it is, so that then we look at the response of the manager. So if we go through the query the way it is, with the response by management, then we can look at each issue, each part, as the way it is addressed.
That I agree. You know, what the committee is seeking to do, we are appreciating that in one meeting, and our time is very limited. So what we wanted to do is to see the queries which are not addressed, so that we can focus on them. But those which are addressed,
And Chair,
members need to be convinced that they are actually addressed. Proceed.
Chair, nilikuwa nasema pesa zilikuwa hazikutumika na hapa inasemekana, ninavyojua pesa zikibaki katika zikutumika huwa zinarudi katika ile akaunti ya nyingine ambayo si
Auditor needs to be clear that a supplementary budget was done just before the financial year to reduce the budget by what was not spent or the target they didn't meet, maybe in their own. You know, this was also during COVID time. Maybe there were issues. Number two, or tell us that the amount that was not used was reported in 2021-2022 budget and spent there, so that at least we are clear, we know something has been done. So that, you know, it is clear. When you become economical with your words, then members get confused. Maybe the problem with accountants sometimes, Chair, also, and maybe it's like yourself and myself, they are scientists. Sometimes we speak less.
I think at the end of this, we need to know which accountant signed these financial statements. Do you have the financial statements for this? Because now it looks like every query that was there, including inaccuracies, including, most of the queries have later on been addressed. So we need to know who was the accountant then. Can you check the financial statements?
Mr. Chairman, the accountant is here. We came with her.
What is her name?
It's called Caroline Chebet.
Caroline Chebet, where are you? Were you the accountant then? So are you alive to the issues which are appearing here now? Can you give her a mic, please? Some of these things. We have queries which touch on competence addressed. But then when you look at them, there are mainly competent issues. For example, inaccurate property, it suggests that something was not done right. Issues of undisclosed bank account was later now addressed. Why were they not disclosed then at the point of audit? Issues of non-recognized, you know, all these issues are issues that an accountant should be aware of. So how is it that you overlooked these issues?
Okay, concerning the one for please come up again with the one for the bank.
No, it's a list of issues from the report. We have issues of inaccuracies. We have issues of non-disclosure, non-recognition of grants. We have issues of compliance to the standards. We have issues of budget control and performance. We have issues touching on legal compliance, submission of financial statement, late submission of financial statement. How is it that these issues, which according to the auditor have now been addressed in subsequent years, how is it that you have overlooked them?
Your Honor, I did not overlook them. I apologize for that. I joined the service in 2019. So I could say it's issues of not having known the system for the public sector, because before that I was doing a lot in private sector. But after that I've had some capacity building, and I'm able to do them well now.
I want to hand you over to Senator Miraj, who is an expert in that line.
How are you, Caroline?
Fine, thank you.
Are you an ISPAC member?
Yes, I am.
What is your ISPAC number?
26048.
26048.
048.
Okay, thank you, Chair.
Can you check the status of her status with ISPAC? You know, we are doing this because accountants, you have an obligation under the Accountants Act and also under the Public Audit Act to ensure that the financial statements that are presented are true.
You're right.
And correct.
You're right, sir.
So that you don't end up generating audit queries on matters of competence and capacity. Now, your status indicates Caroline Chebet, CPA. Membership is active, but your status is not in good standing. The status is not in good standing. Can you explain to the committee why your status is not in good standing?
It's not in good standing because I've been having a lot of assignments at the office, so that there's little I managed to do with the trainings from ISPAC. I should think that's the reason, because as far as registration is concerned, I'm active.
Yeah, because you know, things like standards, they are addressed in the training. We have an officer from Dr. Nungo is here, from Treasury, who trains people on public sector accounting standards.
Yes, Your Honor.
So if you don't attend the training, you miss out on this, and you end up generating a query for your account.
I note it concerns Your Honor.
Anyway,
Madam Chairman, if I may add.
Yes.
We have capacity challenges, not just in terms of competence, but also in terms of numbers.
Yeah.
Just a single officer herself has been handling both the mother department, that's the Department of Lands, and that's huge, and the municipality. And I remember when there was a time I'm told she was recalled, she was actually in hospital, admitted. But but she was called to come and do this financial statement. Some of those mistakes arose from that. As a county, we are taking steps. We've added an extra accountant. Tom Tanui is here. And also in this financial year, we want to add more numbers. And as so when they go and sign again,
sit down, Carol.
When they go and sign someplace, it's not herself as a person, but because of the capacity we have in the department.
Okay. Mark, you wanted to say something?
Yes, Chair. I think there's also need to comply with the Section Audit Act in line with responses to the management letter, because you realize most of these issues, as there was an entry meeting, there was an ML, and there was, because of no response, that's why these queries have arisen, and that the response was provided late. So, Chair, compliance to Section 31 would really help in terms of dealing with some of the queries you're dealing with. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, because Dr. Nungo?
Thank you, Chair. Maybe just for information, some of these ISPAC workshops can be done online. So I think maybe in the future you need to, if you are very busy, but you can just spare some time to do some online workshops. So some of those meetings can be online. Some. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, and again, maybe Governor, capacity issues, you need to have a budget for your accountants to attend trainings, and even the lawyers, people whose accreditation is depending on the number of trainings they do.
I want to confirm, Mr. Chairman, we have got the budget. We put money on the budget for that.
Yes. Okay. I think your internal management to deal with that, because you may find yourself getting audit queries, which are issues that you can avoid, like these inaccuracies and matters which are touched on capacity. A recommendation on those matters. The matter of long outstanding debt service. Auditor, how was this matter addressed?
All the money was recovered except for interest at bank rate recommended by the law. So it was just the principal amount was recovered.
The principal amount was recovered, but the interest was not recovered.
It was not recovered.
Then the matter is not addressed, because the law, section, is it section 93 of PFM, requires that matters of interest, you must pay interest on it at the prevailing market rate. Was there any administrative action taken on this officer? Because the same regulation, payment of interest and administrative action, was it taken?
There was no administrative acts taken except for verbal warning, because they said that recovery of the interest, they thought it was punitive enough.
Issues. Let me mark these as query number 3. The matter of diversity. I think this one you said it had been us who needed to have an ethnic balance. So let's look at. So for this particular year, we have 3 queries we are going to look at. The year ended June 2022. Ledgers Was that the case?
Yeah, I said it was addressed.
It was addressed.
Let us-
Again, this is a matter to do with compliance to Section 31 of the Public Audit Act. Inaccuracy in financial statement, addressed, but then it was not addressed. Budgetary control and performance, this one not addressed. Years in the 2023 report. Irregularity in upgrading barabara mpya Mitume Road. This one is partially addressed, but auditor, is it recurring?
Chair, it's not recurring.
Okay, so now we mark this as query number 4. Irregular expenditure on the task force is recurring, and I think Mheshimiwa Chasange does this. So we take the query in the year 2023. So for this particular year, we consider only one query, which is irregular upgrading barabara mpya Mitume Road. Yeah, like failure to provide ledgers, inaccuracies in financial statements. Caro, were you still the auditor who signed the financial? One who signed. Okay, the final year, which is the year ended 2023. But before we go there, I would like to ask Senator Ojenda to put himself on record.
Council, Vice Chair of this committee and Senator for Kisumu County, welcome to the Senate Governor.
You forgot to say a member of the broad-based government.
You know the governor is also a member of the Tawi movement, the other side, so yeah.
Okay. Okay, the year ended June 2023 and confirmed and stated prior year balances. But again, that touches on the issue of capacity. Inaccuracy in comparison, in statement of comparison of budget and actual amount touches on that again. Cash and cash equivalent touches on that. Valuation of property, plant and equipment. I think this will mark it as query number 5. It's not addressed. Trade and other payables is partially addressed. Auditor, what is partially addressed here?
Chair, the adjustments was done, invoices were given, and the payment vouchers, we have verified that. But for the deposit account, they are not maintaining the ledger of individual, those individual individuals whose retention is being held by the county. So that's what is outstanding.
Okay, query number 6 then. Unsupported inventories. Query number 7.
Chair, for that, what is remaining is the stock taking reports. The one they have given is just giving the list of those items you are in store, but not giving the value. So
okay, we have marked it as 7. Irregular expenditure on public fora address. How was it addressed, auditor?
Chair, for the irregular expenditure on public fora, the vouchers were provided, and we have verified with the supporting documents. There are copies of invitations which were placed around the target settlements. And therefore, the stakeholder involvement invitations were done through the letters to target the stakeholders and emails from the consultant to individual committee members. And then there is also a settlement executive committee erected for the purpose of linking the office with the stakeholders. So those ones were provided and we confirmed they are okay.
Irregular board expenses, how was it addressed?
Chair, for the board expenses, they have given us an invitation letters to attend and attendance registers and the minutes of the board meetings, which we have looked at and they attached as an annex.
Okay, irregular expenditure on task force. This query recurred from the first year, so we mark it as number 8. Outstanding interest, how was it addressed?
Chair, you have mentioned that one from the previous year. So it was also on the interest, which was only the interest is outstanding. Because it was just recorded the interest, the same thing.
I had marked it.
Yes, Chair.
Lack of an updated asset register, that one we mark it as 9. Proposed construction of a multi-story business complex, this one recurred, so it is 10. Auditor, how was the query on an implemented CIDP, ADP, and budget projects addressed?
Chair, there is a budget which was done. It's in the subsequent financial year budget. So those projects which were not done, they appear in the next budgets of the county. Exactly.
So that one we'll mark it as number 11. Lack of fraud management and risk policy.
Chair, they are using the policy of the county exactly. So, and that's the one which is applicable for. So we took it as addressed.
Or the matter of control over functions, we mark it as number 12.
That's correct. Yeah.
So that brings us to the end of our preliminary in progress and supported work in progress for the year ended 21. Auditor, please read out the query as written.
Chair, unsupported work in progress, the statement of financial position as disclosed in Note 8. Plant and equipment, which includes the balance of Kenya shillings 390,950,729 relating to work in progress for the construction of a multi-story parcel of land whose ownership documents were not in the name of the municipality. The contract for the works was awarded to a local construction company at a contract sum of Kenya shillings 874,280,300. Period was 728 days, commencing 10th June 2019, and expected completion date was 10th June 2021. As at 30th June 2021, the contractor had been fully paid the contract amount of Kenya shillings 390,958,729. Review of the records revealed that the works were subcontracted by subcontractors. However, the contract agreements, contractor and subcontractors were not provided for audit review. Further, the bills of quantity and engineers' estimates were not provided for audit review, while site meeting minutes provided were not signed. It was therefore not possible to confirm the scope of works and the contract sums for each subcontractor. In the circumstances, the accuracy, ownership, and valuation of property, plant and equipment balance of Kenya shillings 392,376,681 could not be confirmed. Thank you, Chair.
Very well. Governor, your management response.
On ownership, Mr. Chairman, the multi-story business complex was constructed as part of the bus park land, which is a public land. The land reference block 4/276, formerly LR number 2116/601, is not yet registered, and the county is in the process of registration. The land was encroached, but the county reclaimed the whole parcel and has constructed and has secured it with the perimeter wall. It is further noted that the house of use attached are correspondences by the Ministry of Lands and Settlement confirming the land and survey map plans. That's from page 2 all the way to page 12. That the land is public land. The claims we hear are rumors, nothing in concrete, nobody has come forward to claim it, and we have secured the property. The process of getting a title deed is underway.
Okay, let's start with the auditor. Auditor, what is your comment on the response?
Chair, the ownership documents were not presented, so we cannot confirm unless we have the title. This other document correspondence cannot confirm the ownership of that parcel of land. Contract agreements, these were presented and we have verified them. Bills of quantities and engineer estimates were presented to us and we have inspected. And then we also have the signed site minutes, which we have confirmed to be correct. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, but Auditor, maybe just clarify. In your query, paragraph 1, you are saying, however, the construction was undertaken on a parcel of land whose ownership documents were not in the name of the municipality, which means you had access to the ownership document at the time of audit. So maybe you need to clarify on that. Eh?
Yeah, the documents which were there are the ones which the governor tabled, and then that's why we are saying they are not in the name of the municipality. So he has confirmed this in the name, or they are public land owned by the county government. So we wanted to be in the name of the municipality because we are looking at the municipality, not the whole county government. That's what we are trying to say.
Okay, Senator Eddie, please put yourself on record.
To the committee
and to Governor, together with your team, good afternoon. My name is Eddie Gisheru Okech, Senator from Migori County and a member of this committee.
Thank you very much. So you see now, the response from the governor is that this was public land. He has indicated the details of the land and stated that this land is yet to be registered, but the county is in the process of registration. So that's why I'm asking you to explain those documents that you reviewed. They were in the name of who? Who was the title holder?
There is no title to this land, which was given to us.
Then your query is a bit misleading, because it should say that you did not see the title. But the query implies that the ownership document were not in the name of the municipality, meaning that you had access to the to the documents. So there, I think it's a bit misleading. Okay, maybe Governor, the second part of the issue that he has raised is the issue of the contract agreements between the main contractor and the subcontractors. The auditor indicates they were not provided. In your response, you have not mentioned that.
I was dealing with the first part of the query.
Yes.
There are three.
Okay, maybe you can just finish the other.
The second one is on page 13 of our response.
Yeah, you can proceed and read it out so that we just cover it at the same time.
Under the contract arrangements, there are 5 specialist works. 1, sculptor works. 2, general electrical installation works. 3, plumbing, drainage and fire protection and installation works. 4, kitchen extract systems installations. The main represented by the consultant. The subcontract agreements between the main contractor and the subcontractors have been availed. The audit reviewed. And they go all the way to page 23. Page 23. The third part of the query is on engineers' estimates. It's on page 24, Mr. Chairman. Bills of quantity and summary evaluation report. The engineers' estimates, stock bills of quantity have been provided to the auditors for audit review. And we have put annexures there. And they go all the way to page 31. And then the last part of the query was on the signed minutes, and have been availed. That time they were not availed, but the signed minutes have been availed to the auditors for audit review, and we have attached the evidence. It goes all the way to page 47.
So, Auditor, I want you to make your comments on those 3 parts of the query, the responses on those 3 parts.
We looked at them, they appear correct. And the bills of quantities as attached, they were presented to us, and we were confirmed they are okay. And then the signed site minutes were also provided to us adequately.
I think, Auditor, I think you will need more time. You will need to verify, because you remember you started by telling us that this query is not addressed. You have not taken your time.
I wanted you to allow me, Chair, just to being on the floor. I just had the auditor's response in terms of they received the documents, we'll look at them. Auditor, when did you receive these documents, and why did you not in your management report right to the governor? I mean, yeah, to really ask for these documents on time for you to come before this committee and state that you are then given documents and you look at them. This is a day that we've set for Nzoia County so that we can be able to look at these issues and conclude. Proceed.
Chair, I don't think I have said that we received and we asked for them to review these documents. I said these documents were received and confirmed by us. So if I say that, I can't remember saying that.
Okay, let's be on the same page. These documents were received and you confirmed. So this issue is still not yet addressed because you in your receiving of the documents, then you raised these concerns, Auditor. You raised concerns ranging from the signed minutes were not signed, concerns that the bills of quantities engineers were not provided for audit review. You raised the concern that the contractor agreements between the main contractor and the sub were not provided for audit review. So did you receive and still you claim that you did not audit? Can you come out properly?
Chair, the audit query was raised in the audit of 2020-2021 financial year. At that time, the documents were not given to us, or the team which was on the ground. Now, when they are responding, or the county governments respond to these summons to the Senate, they have now responded. The documents they have shared with the Senate, and they gave us a copy which was received on 13th of August, 2024. This report was done several years ago. I think if you look at the certificate, it was signed in. Because that time it was not given to us, that's why it came to the Senate, 13th of August. This document, the same time coming to us.
Okay,
so
just for clarity, and Mark, I would really need your wisdom on this floor. If then by then, documents were not submitted, you say there's already a certificate. So how was this audit conducted without the relevant documents at that particular time? Because you seem to be bringing the element that the issue was at that time, so documents were not presented at that time. Did you have an opportunity to review the audit?
Let me come in at this point. You know, honorable members, the auditors are a part of us. They are our technical arm. Allow me to say that those matters would be handled differently. But the direction, these documents that have been given to us, and do the physical verification of the construction, and write back to us in 14 days.
Chair.
That is the way to go.
No, Chair.
Because I don't want a scenario where we are going to exchange among ourselves.
Yeah, allow me to add on to what Senator Tabitha is trying to say. On the year 2023, there is a query, number 6, on trade and other payables.
We are coming to that.
No, let me drive my point home.
Yeah.
Most of the queries here that we were told are addressed. We merely said that there were capacity issues and that the accountant was overwhelmed. She has not been going for the trainings. So they are just anomalies. But there is a very high fiduciary risk. Let me show you in number 6. They said there were late submissions, and later the invoices and everything were submitted. So the query was addressed. But sincerely, when we look at the invoices, the dating and the days that they were received, there are so many anomalies. I don't know why we accept documents after the audit, because that is where ukora unafanyika wa mwenyekiti. haiwezekani wakati auditors wanakwenda hawapewi makaratasi, alafu baadaye makaratasi yanakuja. Na tuseme tu kwa umakini, tangu wakati wa Nyamira waje, nimekuwa makini sana kuangalia the annexures ambazo tunapewa. Hata we mwenyewe ukiangalia hiyo invoice hapo, it has been altered. Hatujui ni tarehe 24 ama ni tarehe ngapi. Na ukiangalia katika hii receipt nyingine ambayo imekuwa stamped, imekuwa invoiced on 22nd. Huku invoice yenyewe inasemekana ni tarehe 24. So ni muhimu sana. Ukiona mahali kwenye Public Finance Management Act, mwenyekiti, imesemekana kupeana stakabadhi kuchelewa ni hatia, ni kwa sababu hapo ndio ukora ufanyika.
Yeah, that's why, Honorable Member, I marked that query. The query on trade and other payables. The auditor had indicated it's partially addressed, but the clerk advised that we mark it as a query to be considered. So we are going to consider that query. Number 6 that you are referring to.
Chair, in any query that there were late submissions, we need to give it to the auditors to take them back, waende wakaangalia hizo annexures ambazo tumepewa, kwa sababu tunaona ziko na matatizo na hazionyeshi hata vizuri pia. They're not visible. So how are we going to say that these matters are addressed if we cannot verify the late submissions of the documents that was not given during the audit cycle?
Yeah, that's very important. The matter of late submission of documents is an offense under the Public Audit Act and the PFM Act. And this committee, we always give a recommendation on that. And that's why the accountants who are here, we keep on making reference to you, because you are the ones who mobilize the documents for audit. If you don't submit documents in time during the audit process and you bring to us when you are about to appear before Senate, that is an offense according to the law. Because in any case, senators are not auditors. We don't do audit here. We simply look at the audit query that has been presented to us and look at the evidence. But if that evidence is in itself an offense, that becomes a problem. So senators raise a very important issue, the issue of late submission of documents. We are not going to be very lenient on that moving forward. That documents must be submitted during the audit process, not after the audit process. Senator Eddie, and we need to make progress. We have 12 queries to handle before 2 o'clock.
Chair, this is a qualified opinion. And I actually take offense when we are almost indicating that auditors did not do their work. And I think it's unfair to the auditors. We have got a situation where there is a very clear process. We spent 2-3 hours here with the Auditor General. And Chair, it will be revisionist if we don't implement some of the things that we agree about in this committee. Because we spent time here with the Auditor General. The Auditor General took us through a process of audit and the series of meetings, including management meeting, including exit meetings, that then, before a certificate is raised, Chair, there will be several engagements with the respective county. Where do I take offense? I take offense that at the point that the conclusion of an audit has been done and a certificate has been issued, there were no particular documents. Because this certificate was issued. When was the certificate issued? Just inform me the date.
13th October 2022.
The certificate was issued in 13th October 2022. The documents that are responding to audit queries were received in October 2024. Is that true? August 2024. Chair, how are we being fair to the auditors? The response that we are looking at here, we are not doing an audit query interrogation. Chair, we are auditing. That's the meeting we are having here. And the Chair, I think that you should pronounce yourself, and the legal person can be able to read for me Section 62 of the Public Audits Act. What does it say? If you allow me.
Yeah, legal, please proceed.
Chair, Section 62 of the Public Audit Act provides for offences. A person shall not, without reasonable cause or lawful excuse, obstruct, hinder, assault, or threaten a member of staff of the Auditor General. B, without justification, fail to provide information required under this Act. C, without justification, fail to provide information within reasonable time that is required under this Act. D, submit false or misleading information. E, misrepresent to or knowingly mislead a member of staff of the Auditor General. F, interfere with or exert undue influence of any staff of the Office of the Auditor General. 2, a person who contravenes subsection 1 commits an offense and is liable on conviction to a fine not exceeding 5 million shillings or to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 3 years or to both.
So, Chair, this is my pronouncement. Because I really am tired of this kind of engagement in this committee. The first process that we must clear is that the documents that we are seeing here that are responding to these queries, were they provided for at the time of audit? Were they provided for at the time that the certificate was issued? No. So then, as a committee, to be serious, we must pronounce ourselves that, was there a reasonable reason that made them not to be availed? And was that communicated to the auditors? If there isn't, we must pronounce ourselves to that particular section of the law. And then the second question would be, when they are provided for, which the auditors, to be honest, the Auditor General was very clear here, and we gave, it is this committee that gave the Auditor General direction here. I sat here for 3 hours, and we said, if you're going to receive documents after a certificate has been issued, there is no provision of that under the law. And you cannot hold the auditors liable for that. You punish, and you call it a day. Because, Chair, I will not come to meetings where I come and start auditing a report. This audit we are doing here is not a scrutiny of the audit queries. So, Chair, I hold the view that any document that came after the issuance of certificate should not even be reviewed. Shouldn't. The law is very clear. This certificate was raised in 2021 and closed. You take the auditor to another audit process on August 2024. Chair, what are we doing?
This matter is not a new matter, honorable members. We have handled this matter of late submission of documents. And I want to agree with you. Where there is a fair and valid explanation as to why the documents were not provided during the audit, the committee will consider that particular case. But where there is no fair and valid explanation on why the documents were not provided, then the committee cannot start redoing the audit. They will simply make a recommendation on that. Governor, in his response, he stated that the documents were later on found with the contractor. found with the contractor, which means they were not there with the county government. They were later on found with the contractor. So that is the first challenge, that the documents were not there. Number two, honorable members, this is the very first time this Senate, through this committee, is looking at municipalities. We have not been looking at municipalities since 2014, when devolution started. The same matter also with the water companies. This is the first time Senate is looking at it. And these challenges are there. So I think we need to decide moving forward how we are going to be handling such matter, because I'm seeing we are going to get into a major constraint on this matter. That looking at this report, we may even decide that there is no matter that we are going to look at, and that will be another problem. So I want us to handle case by case on a matter that we feel there is a valid and fair explanation. Then we proceed. On a matter that we feel there is no valid explanation, then we take the necessary action.
Chair, you know you are. Chair, sorry, I don't mean to be rude or anything, Senator Abitha. Chair, you know the Auditor General's position was very important, and I hope that the COG was logged in that for the conversation. You know what you're telling the auditor right now to go and do is to go and reopen this certificate. I am using basic explanation of some of these information that you're giving here. We can coin it as, oh, auditor, you go back and review the documents that have been offered here and look at them. But what you are saying is that, auditor, go and reopen this certificate and do another audit. Because, auditor, if you go here into this document, I want you to guide me and find that there are substantive issues that are still remaining. What happens to the certificate that you had offered? Right? The certificate had to be reissued.
Some of them were not available at that time. Actually, you check around, you'll find that many of these properties are not titled. That's why we're making efforts to secure the title deed for that particular place, and it's a process. Some of the documents were not available. Actually, last letters yesterday was still securing others from the survey office. So there's a possibility that will come on a land ownership document, and it's not there. It's found after the audit query has been raised. What do you do with that information? By practice, we share with the auditor before we come here. Unless we give a specific deadline, at the moment an audit has been done, do not receive any supporting documents within this particular period of time. But by practice, we've been giving this document. Actually, when you receive a letter inviting you to this committee, that's maybe sometime, that's the time we start running around and checking what was not handled. I'm just being forthright, don't want to lie. That's what happens. Because now if I come here and it's an audit query that's hanging and I've got documents, do I produce them here? Because somehow that audit query must be addressed. So that's what we do. By practice, that's what has been happening. If there's change of policy, you want to align strict with the law, I'll advise that maybe you do a circular and say that going forward, you delay submitting documents, don't even bother coming. And then, of course, everybody will comply. These others, I said, they are with the consultant. That consultant for the business center was basically the accounting officer. You look at all the documents. It's been appearing in TSCC, even here, it was supposed to come. He had more information than even the matter department itself. So during audit, these documents were not available, but we were able to get them from the consultant we shared with the auditor. Not yesterday, but just in good time for them to review them. The other documents are which ones? The bill of quantities is the same. The engineer's estimate the same. Actually, the consultant took charge of the entire management of this project and is the custodian of these documents. So sometimes when an auditor is on ground in Kitale and is raising an audit query and we check around those kind of documents, we have to get in touch with the consultant who is based in Nairobi, and it takes a bit of time. Sometimes you just have to send somebody to come and sit down with that consultant to get some of these documents. This is a problem that I inherited. I'm dealing with issues that I've not seen even in government, where you almost like delegate the responsibility for an accounting officer to an external person and takes charge of the project. That's what we're addressing here in terms of, and this issue will recur until eternity. You look at how complex it is. Because we're even 3 years behind schedule.
Honorable members, I want us to make progress, but I will allow only Senator Chesang to make a comment, and then I give directions.
Thank you, Chair.
We cannot keep on running with the same thing.
No, thank you, Chair.
Please.
But I believe, Chair, what my colleagues are bringing on this committee is really important. As you have said, Chair, clearly that the Auditor General is part of us, but if we are not satisfied with the information they are giving us, I think we should raise in this kind of committees. So this issue of task forces, Chair, and the issue of Auditor General, the topic today is about what we are receiving from the Auditor General, and we're also discussing about the task forces in the county. Maybe just one question, Chair, that I've seen as an issue, and I once raised this issue, but I even wrote a letter to the Auditor General, but I've not gotten responses till date. But because they're here, I just want to get clarity on one thing, because it's very important in this committee, that now that the governor is here, I just want to confirm if the governor has a county attorney.
The county attorney is even here.
The county attorney is here. Just confirm, Governor, that the county attorney's mandate is to represent the county government in each and every matter that comes to the county.
I can't confirm that. because which matter is he representing the county?
Okay. So, Governor, there is a payment that was made from the county to one Oringo was one company advocates.
Senator,
I know where I'm going, Chair.
Senator Jasang, you know, we must restrict ourselves to the query in question. If you have an issue regarding a particular query, you bring it at that time. Right now, the query here is about the matter of unsupported work in progress. We exhaust that, and then we come to the particular query where you are raising. We'll give you a chance, because we want to move on systematically as we cover these queries.
Chair, please give me a chance to ask this question, because you know, as we speak, you know I'm supposed to be chairing a committee that you're also a member.
I understand. What I'm trying to say, my chair in ICT committee, is that we want to move systematically. We want to handle this query, which talks about the business park that was being constructed. Once we exhaust that, and you have a particular issue you want to raise regarding these 3 reports, we have no problem you raise. You are the area senator. We need to give you as much leeway as possible, but just allow us to run systematically.
Point of order, Chief.
Starting with this query.
Point of order.
What is your point of order?
My point of order is that for the purpose of moving forward,
yes,
why can't we, because maybe the senator of Washington Gishu has got another committee to go to, why can't we then finish this query that we are handling, and then once we finish, you can make a special request to consider a query that is relevant to what he's talking about, then you can excuse him. Is that a middle ground?
Yes, but so only if the queries are contained in this report.
Exactly.
Any matter outside this report, it will be very unfair.
I agree.
For us to look at.
I agree.
So I will allow you to raise it, but in these 3 reports.
Yes. Definitely, it is coming in under the task force queries that we have.
Yes, so the task force was query number. It was query number 8, marked number 8, for the year ended June 2023. So I will allow you to raise it, and then we allow you to leave.
After we finish this.
After you finish that.
So the conclusion on this, can I just conclude on this, Chair? It's a very important conclusion.
This one, on the current query we are
work in progress.
Yes, just give us a few minutes. We conclude that first query, and then we come to this one, so that you can leave. So what is your issue?
Chair, you've heard the governor indicate that you know, sometimes there are no documents, you know, there are contractors that were not availing the documents. It sounded to me like when the auditors came, and Chair, you know, this I raise a lot of respect to the governor. He's one of my favorite governors. But with regards to this particular audit query, it sounded to me like when the auditors came, we did not have these documents. That's what I got. And that is a serious, you know, relegation of duty. Because under the PFM Act, if you leave the Audit Act, and perhaps, Governor, you can help us understand the process with which you build your financial statements. Because you've got accounting officers under Section 149 of the PFM Act. And that section requires under 2K, it says, not later than 3 months after the end of each financial year, the responsible accounting officer must prepare annual financial statements for that financial year and submit them to the Auditor General for audit, with a copy also submitted to the county treasury. And then J says they must try at that time to resolve any issues resulting from an audit that remain outstanding. By the time this thing becomes queries to the Senate, there is almost 6 steps of audit triggered by your preparation of financial documents. So what I heard you, Governor, saying is that you prepared your financial documents without requiring your contractors to give you submissions that are relevant and important to that financial statement process. And that's the problem, because then it means that the documents that the subsequent documents that are required by auditor in solving these issues never get to come. So then it sounds something like this. If the Senate asks us for those documents, we respect the Senate so much, we will obey those documents, but not the auditors. Because for that answer to surface 2 years after the certificate was issued, it means that there was no even correspondence subsequently to the audit. And that's why I'm saying, Chair, that it's extremely important that this section of the law must be exhausted. Section 62 of the Public Audits Act must be exhausted in this process to make sure that auditors have got an easy way and a very effective way of conducting audit by making sure that documents are submitted. This is not happening during the audit process. It's a requirement that 3 months after the financial, at the end of the financial year, those things must be available. Chair, submit.
I want, you have comprehensively explained. Senator Eddy understands the PFM and Public Audit Act in details. And I think the governor, from his explanation, understands that. What I want us to do, I want us to agree on one thing as a committee, and this matter can be discussed internally. What we are going to do with this elephant in the room called late submission of documents. We need to agree. How are we going to handle it? If we say that no county that has submitted late documents should appear before us, let it be like that. So it is a decision that I don't want us to discuss it here. Let us discuss it internally. Number 2, we frequent report. Seeing a scenario that if we try to tighten that bit, we will not move. We will not move with the old reports because this governor was not there. There was another governor who was there. He will come and say, I was not there. And then he said, I have now brought the documents. What are you going to do? So, honorable members, let's leave this debate to our internal meeting. No, we cannot. We have 12 queries.
Let me put it like this, kindly, Chair, with all due respect.
Yes.
I agree the governor is a new governor. We are on the same page, but there's something that needs to come out. What we are trying to bring out, as you say, the relation of a new committee, the relation of a new governor who was not even there in 2021, is so that at this particular moment, moving forward, Governor, these issues do not repeat, so that you can be able to address such that even in your next term or whoever will be there, these issues do not arise. I want that connectivity to come out so that that synergy can be able to help us sort this issue. We are not here on war. We are here to try and look at where the problem was. Chair, you've already given directions. We are on that, but it needs to come out that this law was there in 2015. So the person, as you say, the committee will retreat, make our own recommendations so that action can be taken moving forward. It's as simple as that. So if we can be able to move to the next question, because Governor has been able to respond to what we want you to ask you respond. You've given your response. Your county attorney is there on all matters legal, whichever. Not fair to say that, you know, you don't know, but he's there, and it is good that he's there, and we are happy as a committee when you have a county. This matter in terms of the Audit Act that is in place. So, Chair.
Just to clarify, members will have our own internal engagement on the issue of late submission of documents. Directed that he goes back, verifies the documents submitted to us, and does a physical verification of the works, and comes back to us in writing in 14 days on this particular way forward. Honorable members, for the purpose of Senator Chesang, who is going to chair another meeting, allow me to jump to issue number 8, which is a regular expenditure on task force. That is contained in the report for the year ended 2023 and is a recurring query. It recurred for the 3 years. So, Auditor, please take us through the query.
Thank you, Chair. The query on irregular expenditure on task force. The statement of financial performance for the year ended 30th June 2023 reflects task force expenses amounting to Kenya shillings 3,290,210, which was not explained by a note in the financial statements. The amount was utilized by a task force that was formed by county government of Nzoia, of Kenya shillings 7,288,980 spent in the financial year 2021-2022. Examination of the payment vouchers revealed that though the funds were spent under the municipality vote, the activity was under the Department of Lands, and the municipality only accorded custody of the funds and had no control over the funds. It was therefore unclear why the expenditure financial statement. Also, the activity was not budgeted or within Kitale municipality. This number signifies funds amounting to Kenya shillings 10,579,190. Thank you, Chair.
Very well. Governor.
Where the municipality is domiciled. While the money was transferred to the municipality, most of the parcels that had been grabbed, so to say, fall within the municipality, and that was the mandate of the municipal board.
Auditor, your comments on the response by management?
The matter is outstanding because there is no consideration of those, the difference in the plots which the report came up with. That's the 120 and the 1,400 plots. There's no consideration to show which ones are public, which ones are private, so that we can confirm from the ownership documents. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, let me start with this, Senator Chesan.
Thank you, Chair. The reason why I was mentioning this is because the same Chair which has queries of 3 to 90 here. Just a minute. And I'm also the same task force which has the irregulatory expenditure for 3,290,210. It just caught my mind that Chair, why I was asking the question I was asking earlier is that this task force consisted of how many members? Maybe Governor, if you can confirm how many members were in this task force. The task force dealing with land issues in Nzoia County.
There were 12 members.
Thank you, Governor. So, Governor, can you be able to list the 12 members of the task force?
Governor, you proceed.
Because I'm wondering why, what is the audit query about this?
No, I'm just...
Because the query was about whether there was a budget for the task force. Then number two, where was the budget? Because the municipals did not have the budget. Then number three, the amount of parcels contained in the task force report is at variance with what's known in particular jurisdiction. So the issue of membership
Chairman, you know why I was asking this is because we are, and what I'm seeing, the reason why I'm asking Governor to confirm is because I have a list here of this. I don't think that is something that I need to, if it's something that can be clarified here, Chair of this committee, then I just need clarification because
maybe
I have the report here, I can read the names.
Yeah, just proceed.
Doesn't break anybody's back. Simiyu Ewasike was the chairperson. Margaret Muchelule Goko was the vice chairperson. Nasike Diana Obwile was the secretary. Dorothy Nabwana Nyukuri was member. Zekius Kipsiele Kitur, member. Emmanuel Mutange, member. CS Patrick Mukamo Nyongesa, member. Simon Kipkoech Chebi, member. Morris Simon Barasa, member. Kenneth Kipkorit Langat, member. Robert Aura Wasike, member. Lineka Nafula Buire, co-opted member. She was the chief officer at that time.
Yeah, so those are the members. Proceed with your next question.
So, Governor, who was Odinga Waswa in this task force?
He's a stranger. He's not in the task force.
Chairman,
Chair, can I submit a copy of the report? It's here.
Yeah, of the task force.
Yeah, that's the report here.
That is for this particular matter.
It's not in the audit. These are just an external issue. So besides what we are discussing today.
Okay. You can table the task force report.
so Chairman, I think that opens other books that maybe I just want to share some I'll submit some few questions. Maybe you can follow up once I've left. But I think I am well guided with what the governor said, has responded.
Yeah, so you have a set of questions?
Yes, I just want to draft a few.
Yeah, you can give them to the clerk. As we go on, we will interrogate them further. So maybe if I take you back, the auditor, the query you are raising is that this particular expenditure appeared in the financial statement for the municipality, and yet the activity was under the Department of Lands. Is that the case?
That's true, Chair.
Yeah. So maybe, Governor, you can explain on that. The funds were from the Land Department under the county government, but then the expenditure appeared in the municipality.
Mr.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
The municipality, the mother department for the municipality in Nzoia is the Department of Lands. This money was budgeted in that Department of Lands. This task force were within the municipality. So the money was transferred to the municipal board account at SBM. So the query was that the municipal board did not have a budget. But we are saying we budgeted under lands and transferred the funds to the municipal board. What informed that decision? I have to be in the mind of my predecessor to know what informed that.
Yeah. So maybe, Mark, I want you to comment on this.
Chair, I think this is an issue that we have been noting with the municipalities, where there has been commingling of funds between the department and the municipality. I think it's also an issue that has been raised in one of the queries to do with the independence and autonomy of the municipality in terms of budgeting and expenditure. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, so Senator Eddie.
Where is Annex 10? Which page is Annex 10? Yes, Governor, may you take me to the note that expressly indicates that the amount of 10 million was budgeted for the task force? Yes. Land task force. Temporary committee. So the budget was 11 million.
Yes.
Okay. Auditor, what is your view of that? Does it answer your concerns?
To us, if you look at why we raised the query in the first place, is because that same budget indicates there is a column for municipality, and then there is a column for Department of Lands. So why was it put in the Department of Lands and not the column of municipality? That's where we had a problem. So that was our query.
Because I'm also confused whether the land tax force was for the municipality or it was for the general land department. The note is not explicit about that. Governor?
You can respond, Mr. Chairman.
Proceed.
The task force was for the entire parcels of land, public land in Nzoia County.
Okay.
But as I said, almost like 80% of the targeted parcels are within the municipality. That's why there's huge land grabbing within the municipality.
Okay.
Yeah, Chair, sorry.
Yes.
I also wanted to ask the auditor, because you've stated that the previous years audit report that those municipalities incur the expenditure without budget. So does it concern
is looking at every municipality as a separate reporting entity for the purpose of auditing. Then municipality should have their separate budget, and they should also way of running their own funds, so that it should be between the county government and the municipalities. Though municipalities are under county government, but just that aspect of intermingling of funds brings this kind of queries in all the municipalities that we have reviewed.
Mr. Chairman, if I may just add, we had a budget for the municipality. This, what happened, is what we also finding strange, that the money was in lands, then was municipality, when even that particular year, the municipality had and accounts for it almost independently, with no interference from the executive. And then on the parcels of land, I think the valuation role covers all parcels of land within the municipality, all of them, private, public, covers all that. But the task force was focusing majorly on public land. We may not have gotten right with 123, but then again 1,000. $440. The manager.
Is the chair here? The chair of the municipal?
We are.
Okay.
But when these statements were prepared, the board was there.
The board was there?
Yes.
Was the chair active?
The chair was sickly.
Requires a functional autonomy that both section 21 and 45 requires of municipalities. So just take a note of that just for subsequent years, because I might look like I will be harassing you in the future, which I don't want to. But for the purpose of, particularly for the purpose of this query around, commingling of funds, we will be holding the board critically liable under section 149 of the PFM Act.
Very well on that. So, Auditor, was there any loss of fund in this query? Or it was just a mere commingling of funds?
I think it was more value of money.
It's just the value of money. There was no direct loss of funds.
Okay, so I think we are going to give and the functioning of the municipality as per the $1,440 parcels are the entire parcel. 123 were public pieces of land. One o'clock, we have less than 1 hour to go before we go to the chair. Matters query number bank account. long outstanding sundry debtors. In this case, the outstanding matter impress was recovered without the interest, and there was no administrative action taken against the persons involved. Maybe, Governor, you can tell us the steps you have taken to address that bit, the issue of interest and administrative action.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. When that matter was brought to my attention, actually I inquired where the officer was, and I was told he's still serving in the same department. So he's still our officer. He wasn't sacked, he wasn't retired, he's still our officer. So the interest can still be levied. I will just get the percentages, then we do it because still our officer. And then, of course, subsequently we'll take other administrative action beyond just the verbal reprimand.
So this particular employee has retired?
He's still within our establishment.
Yes.
That's why I'm saying it's possible to recover.
Yes.
To recover the interest on the interest.
Yes, I think you can proceed and recover the same.
Yeah.
And administrative action, maybe auditor, you can tell us what do you mean by administrative action? Is it disciplinary action or what form of administrative action? Legal, please.
Yes, Chair. Under Regulation 93 of the PFM regulation, an imprest shall be issued for a specific purpose, and any payments made from it shall be only for purposes specified in the imprest warrant. Chair, under Sub-Regulation 5, a holder of a temporary imprest shall account or surrender the imprest within 7 working days after returning to that station. Further, Sub-Regulation 6, in the event the imprest holder failing to account for or surrender the imprest on the due date, the accounting officer shall take immediate action to recover the full amount from the salary of the defaulting officer with an interest at the prevailing central bank rate. Chair, if an interest is to be recovered from any public officer by installments, the accounting officer shall personally authorize such recovery, and such monies shall no longer be an imprest but an unauthorized advance from county government funds. And in addition to the interest charged under paragraph 6, the accounting officer shall take appropriate disciplinary action against the officer concerned for the abuse of the interest. Chair, under Sub-Regulation 7, it creates an offense that if the accounting officer does not recover the temporary imprest from the defaulting officer as provided for in this regulation, he or she commits an offense as provided under the Act. So it is an offense against the accounting officer.
So that means some form of disciplinary. You are a lawyer, guide us.
Yeah, Chair, the law is very clear. It is cast in stone if you don't submit within the framework, the 7-day period, and you don't account, you're liable. I think the law must take its course as set out, and Governor knows that.
So we have the county attorney here. I think this is where you need to advise the county. So once the two things are done, the interest is charged and administrative action is taken as per that rule. And you communicate to us, Governor, maybe in another 21 days or so.
In 14.
Yeah.
Chair, you know, we are going to be giving our governors a lot of headache.
So what do you want us to do?
If we don't punish,
we have asked.
Just wait.
We have asked the governor to go and.
No, there is a thought process that you're interfering with. It's a very important one because I was listening to what he was reading. You see, governors cannot have their eyes in every single place. That's why Section 149 talks about accounting officers
of every entity. That's why financial press statements are prepared by accounting officers. Administrative actions are taken by accounting officers. The burden which, if a staff has not submitted the interest, the burden immediately shifts to the accounting officer, who is the CEO of the municipality. If I get what that law is in terms of effecting it. So therefore, why didn't the accounting officer take the right administrative actions? That should be the question. Even as you direct the government to go and take action now on this, it just shows that the accounting officers are not doing their job. And the law is very clear on what the action on them looks like. So, Governor, what I will encourage, first of all, go and punish the accounting officer, even as little as those, because otherwise we'll be coming here and the accounting officers are sleeping. That's just my comment, Chair.
She has not spoken so far. Madam, why have you not taken action on this matter?
Thank you, Chair. As you can see in the correspondence is attached to the response, we did a number of communications to the Department of Finance to effect the deduction of the money. And we also, as the auditor stated, we had issued a verbal warning to the officer. But as you've guided, we are going to take administrative action.
Yeah, normally you just recover. I think I have suffered before on this, so it's very easy. Just recover the money, then let them follow up later. Just recover. Yeah, you recover. You don't wait.
The money was recovered in full.
Plus the interest.
What wasn't recovered was the interest.
Or recover the interest because it's on a salary, so that you know. Yeah, just recover immediately. Where's the guy? Where's the guy? We recover now.
So just recover and write to us that you have recovered. They said we give you 21 days.
Noted, Chair.
Yeah. So, honorable members, 2023 issue marked issues outstanding now is evaluation of property, plant and equipment. We also have trade and other payables, which Senator Miraju had raised, and supported inventories, and irregular expenditure on task force we have covered, lack of an updated asset register and physical verification of assets, proposed construction of a multi-story business complex. This, I think it was covered in the first query we dealt with. And since we will be coming to Nzoia for an inspection tour, we will also be visiting this particular complex to also do a physical verification. Issues of an implemented CIDP, ADP and approved budget project. And then lastly, the issues of control over functions, which basically touches on this other matter that we have already looked at, the issue of autonomy and all that. So I would suggest that we look at two issues before we conclude: trade and other payables, the matter that Senator Miraj had raised, and then we look at the matter of lack of an updated asset register. So, Auditor, please take us through that query. Trade and other payables.
Thank you, Chair. We are now on the 2022-2023 audit report. Item number 6 on trade and other payables. The statement of financial position reflects trade and other payables amount of Kenya shillings 51,185,835 as detailed in note 15 to the financial statements. examination of the documents provided for audit review in support of the payables reviewed that payables amounting to Kenya shillings 108 890,000 Kenya shillings were not supported by invoices and financial statements reflects retention balances of Kenya shillings 43,900,000 as at 30th June 2023 was not in 70,410,058. In the circumstances, the validity, accuracy, and completeness 185,835 could not be confirmed. Thank you, Chair.
It's on page 15. The second one is on page 28, and the last one is on page 29. In between, we have annexures. The invoices and procurement document supporting payables of Kenya shillings Part P, the project was co-funded by the Departments of Trade, Commerce and Industry and by Public Service Management through the Kenya Devolution Support Program. The variance on amounts retained and 20 withheld by the municipality. The total figure has now been captured in the amended statements of financial year 2022-2023. We have annexed the schedule of payments by respective departments as Annex 6B. Our last response on page 29, the municipality opened retention accounts on 29th March 2024 at Equity Bank, account number 03302852222490, into which available retention funds were transferred to. The schedule of retentions had been availed to the auditors for review, and we have annexed account details and bank certificates, and also schedule of retentions from page 29 up to page 31.
Thank you. Auditor, can I have your comment on this response?
Chair, I said the outstanding item is that there is no register of the deposits. The rest of the other documents have been provided. Thank you, Chair. Chair, I said,
can you just make comments on each and every section of that audit code?
Starting with
there are three of them. I want to hear your posture in all of them?
Yeah, the first one is on the invoices. Our comment is the invoices were presented for audit and they support the amount.
So you are fine with that?
We are fine with the amount which is supported.
Okay.
Because we were asking for the invoice and it was given to us. The second one is on the variance.
On the retentions. No, the variance, yes.
Yeah, the variance. We're saying they have given they're working on the adjustments, which they gave us amended statements, but we said they cannot amend what has already been audited. So they will be taken into account, and then we take those as workings for the next financial year to be updated as a prior adjustment. Then the other one is on the failure to maintain a deposit or retention account. Now they have given the account, but not the register. So the register is not maintained. What they have given is a list of the amount which is outstanding, but they are calling it the register. But the register should be giving all the grants from whom the amount has been withheld, and for each particular certificate. But for this one, it's not. It should even give the voucher number, all those details. When was it paid? The details of that register. So whatever they given, yes, is a list. It gives all what they have, but not in the form of a register as we expected. Thank you, Chair.
On the variance auditor, are you comfortable with the adjustments as explained? I know you are saying that for the purposes of those adjustments, or the trial balance, it should be done as a subsequent financial year. That's fine, it could, but are you comfortable with those adjustments as they are? Are they well explained?
Chair, the amounts in this document are not tied, so with the query, so it needs that reconciliation again.
Yeah. So yeah, there is no reconciliation. That's where I'm going, because basically you are saying you want to excuse that as a previous year's adjustment in the next financial year, but you have to be able to show us
I'm saying this is a listing of the outstanding amounts, not a register. I said it should show the voucher number, the date, the gross amount, and what is it retained. All those details are not in that listing. It's a listing, yes, but not a register in the format it's supposed to be.
The format. The format.
So you are saying all those details
even establish the balance of your intention at any given time.
So what you are implying is that you have a template.
It's not a template, it's all like a book.
That what I'm saying is you have a template for a retention register.
There is a standard format, it's just a book. Maybe the accountants can... There's just a standard format. It gives the receipt number, description, then the amount, who is paid, and how much is paid.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I think...
and the Chair, I think because of time, that also affects the issue of variance. Because for you to be able to capture that variance correctly, Governor, you will need to indicate it in the next financial year as a previous year's adjustment. But for you to get to that part of the auditors, the reconciliation must make sense at this point. When they want to take it as a trial balance or otherwise just normal adjustment, it has to make sense. So I think that is an issue of accountants who have prepared these responses. I honestly am seeing some validity in terms of just the documentation part, but there's incompleteness in those reconciliations. And I don't know who is the accountant who prepared for you this. Who is the accountant?
It's still Chebet. Or...
I'm not, you know, with the, oh, so you're the accountant?
Yes.
What is your ISPAC number?
That one we have already done.
They already done it?
Yes.
She's in good standing? Okay. Is she in good standing? I'm just asking for my own understanding. Because I want to help her, honestly. Like, Governor, this is a very friendly committee. You can learn a lot from it.
No, that one was already explained.
So it was already explained?
Yeah.
What was the explanation? Is she in good standing?
She was not in good standing.
Not in good standing. Go through those calls.
She's registered.
Yeah, go through those courses because some of in bad standing, but don't keep her standing. Just sit. But this is the thing. Go. I recommend. Accounting, because I don't pass it to do the right reconciliations. Yeah, but also Governor, encourage your accountants to go for these trainings that ISPAC is offering. These are very important.
Senator already explained the issue of capacity, the numbers. She's been the only one in the department. When she
Sure. Yeah. So I think at that point the direction I'm giving is that the accountants, you see the appropriate format for this, and then do the appropriate reconciliation. Back here.